Hello everyone, I'm Gigafo, and today we're going to be looking at Shaman, Warrior, and Warlock cards. Not particularly in that order, because I messed up the order of Warlock and Warrior. This is the second installment of the Forged in the Barrens card review series. Previously I covered the neutral cards of the set. If you want to see that video, a link will be in the description below. And just like last time, I'm going to remind you to leave a comment on this video, because that way the discussion that can be created by this video can reach more people. That's just a win-win for all of us. So without further ado, let's get into Spawn Pool Forager. A 1-mana 1/2 Shaman Murloc that reads Death Rattle, summon a 1/1 Tinyfin. This is a really nice Murloc to get Murloc Shaman going, as Murmy is rotating out. Like, even though Murmy wasn't run in Murloc Shamans after Saviors of Uldum, just adding one more health to a Possessed Villager stat line is honestly all you need to make this card good enough to see play in Murloc Shaman. Not to mention that Murloc synergy was significantly trimmed back with the removal of Murloc War Leader. If Murloc Shaman is a good archetype, then this is surely going to be in it. Oh, and also, not to mention that Sludge Slurper is also leaving the Murloc pool for Shaman, so this is a good replacement in the 1-mana slot. Next we have Chain Lightning, 2-mana Shaman nature spell that reads deal 2 damage to a minion and a random adjacent one, and it upgrades when you have 5 mana, and this is rank 2. It deals 3 damage, and rank 3 deals 4 damage. Unlike the other unlike the other ranked spells I've seen so far, this one actually looks like it can get to the rank 3 in the deck archetype it wants to be in. And that is a control sort of archetype. This reminds me of Lightning Breath, which didn't see play because there weren't enough dragons in Shaman. This one, like, getting to 10 mana in Shaman isn't too hard if you're running a hard control list. So this could be really successful in that way. And also it's a nature spell, which does matter, and we'll get into that in a bit. Here we have Firemancer Flurgle, a 2-mana 2/3 legendary Murloc that reads after you play a Murloc, deal 1 damage to all enemies. And it's important to note the distinction of playing rather than summoning Murloc. Same thing with that 1-mana 1/2 Murloc. This replaces Underbelly Angler as the 2-mana synergy for Murlocs and Shaman. And it's a good replacement. Dealing 1 damage repeatedly early is really nice, especially for a deck that wants to just go face all the time, like Murloc Shaman. Like, again, the Murloc Shaman archetype is looking pretty promising so far. Here we have South Coast Chieftain, a 2-mana 3/2 Murloc that reads Battlecry. If you control another Murloc, deal 2 damage. This is some more proactive Murlocs. Again, same with Flurgle, just generally good card for Murloc Shaman. Not too much else to think about here. And here we have Tinyfin's Caravan, a 2-mana 1/3 minion that says at the start of your turn, draw a Murloc. This is a really good draw engine for Shaman. Like, this is nice. Like, this is what Murloc Shaman needed all along, honestly. Adding to the theme of caravans in this expansion. Its application is fairly obvious. I don't really think I have too much to say. Just auto-include in Murloc Shaman. That's about it. Hello everyone, this is Editing Gigafo here. I just wanted to say that I instantly regret everything that I said about this card when I initially saw it, because I don't think I understood the gravity of the text at the start of your turn. I mean, while it is a powerful draw engine if it lives, that a 1/3 on turn 2 living is a rare occurrence. I believe I correct this mistake later on in the review, but if I don't, that's cool too. Just know that I instantly regret this praise that I gave this, because start of turn is historically an awful mechanic. So yeah, continue on past me. Here we have Arid Stormer, a 3-mana 2/5 elemental that reads Battlecry. If you played an elemental last turn, gain Rush and Wind Fury. Elemental synergy has been weird in Shaman lately. I actually don't know if this is the only elemental that's being added into Shaman. Okay, I just checked and there are 2 more. So, like as I said in the last review, I haven't seen all of these cards yet. I haven't really looked at them, or I haven't really looked at the ones, especially the ones that haven't been shown until the reveal stream. I haven't looked at those yet, so these are my first impressions. This looks like a fairly decent inclusion in Elemental Shaman, if that synergy is strong enough. But it doesn't look like it is right now. Shaman has moved away from elementals. Like, the neutral elemental synergy in Dark Moon Fair was minimal, and this, I don't think, helps it that much. The only elemental in Shaman that sees play right now is the one that draws a weapon, and that's not even in any elemental decks. If there's not an elemental synergy weapon, then I guess elemental Shaman isn't just gonna work. Yeah, because like if you're not running the most powerful elemental in an elemental Shaman, then there's no point in running it. Alright, Nothing Can Stop Us, a 3-mana Shaman spell that says give your minions +1/+1, give your Murlocs an extra +1/+1. This is a great replacement for War Leader. Whew. 3 mana +2/+2 buff? That is disgusting. Like, you, oh. Like, if you get 2 Murlocs to stick on turn 2, or through turn 2, and turn 3 you slam this on 2 Murlocs, I think you're happy for that. Like, you get +4/+4, and it gets to deal damage immediately, so in that case you're pretty happy, and it can only get better from there. Like, this is a super big card. Like, this carries Murloc Shaman hard. Next we have Brukan, 4-mana 5/4 Shaman Legendary that says nature spell damage +3. We just saw Chain Lightning, which was a nature spell, and I don't have a list of nature spells on me right now, but this is looking like it's gonna be in Control Shaman and Control Shaman only. Like, there aren't too many spells. Actually, hold on, check time. No, there are no other new nature spells that work with this. There are none getting released for this expansion, so the synergy is just limited to Chain Lightning and whatever Shaman already has. So it's basically just either some sort of weird spell damage Shaman or control, that's it. And the spell damage Shaman, while it has gained some synergy over a couple expansions, hasn't really seen too much success, so I'm hesitant to put it in that archetype. Right, and then there's Earth Revenant, a 4-mana 2/6 elemental that reads Taunt, Battlecry, deal 1 damage to all enemy minions. So this is a replacement for Sandstorm Elemental. Very nice. Or was it Sandstorm Elemental? I forget the name. It's probably Sandstorm Elemental. Like, Stegodon stats and the deal 1 damage to all enemy minions effect is just pretty solid. I mean, if Elemental Shaman sees play, this is going in it, but again, it doesn't seem like it's gonna happen just yet. And here's Lilypad Lurker, a 5-mana 4/5 elemental that reads Battlecry. If you played an elemental last turn, transform an enemy minion into a 0/1 frog with taunt. It's a hex on a stick, but it's conditional. Interesting. This is a powerful elemental, but the same problem stands as with the other elementals, because there's no real win condition for Elemental Shaman right now that I can think of. Like, even elementals like Siamat are rotating out, and I don't think Lilypad Lurker makes up for that. Well, it doesn't make up for the fact that, 1, the archetype is already weak, and 2, elementals like Sandstorm Elemental, are rotating out, so it doesn't seem like it's worth it right now. As long as the Elemental package doesn't get run in a different deck. Like, that's the only way that this could see play, is if the Elemental package, like maybe a 10 card package, is put into a Control Shaman. Maybe like the spell damage thing, like elemental spell damage, that might work. Alright, now we're on to Warlock with Altar of Fire, a 1-mana fire spell that reads destroy the top 3 cards of each deck. No one asked for Mill Warlock, but I guess it's here now. Like, this is the only way this card is getting played. You don't even want to do this in combo decks, because milling the combo really sucks. Like, if you want to, maybe in a like a hyper draw Cthulhu deck where you just draw all the pieces with Cthulhu, you play Altar of Fire, you milled Body of Cthulhu. Guess you have to concede. Like, you're paying 1 mana to do nothing to the board, which is a problem. As a Warlock, you kind of need your cards. That's why you have to draw so much. That's why you have the draw hero power. Like, this one's weird. I guess I'll have to look at the future cards, because if there's weird synergy with this, maybe I'll come back to it, but for now, it's looking like real hot garbage. No pun intended. Now here's Grimoire of Sacrifice, a 1-mana shadow spell that reads destroy a friendly minion, deal 2 damage to all enemy minions. Note that Nerubian Egg is in standard in the core set, so that is a perfect line. Like, turn 1 Flamant, turn 2 Egg, turn 3 Grimoire, and then a good 2-drop. Like, this is pretty solid. It's kind of like Grim Rally. Yeah, if there's some sort of like Death Rattle Warlock with eggs and stuff, yep, this is going in there. And here we have another Caravan, Apothecary's Caravan, a 2-mana 1/3. It says, at the start of your turn, summon a 1-cost minion from your deck. It's a 1/3, and it probably won't survive. So, and it does this at the start. Like, I should have mentioned if the Murloc Caravan goes at the start of your turn rather than the end. Apothecary's Caravan is pretty fragile for a 2-drop, but if it lives, it's a really nice payoff. Like, you get your Flame Imp, you get, what other 1-drops are there in Warlock? Maybe a Soul Juggler. Not a Soul Juggler, Soul Jailer. Something like that. Or maybe if there's a way to reduce the cost of cards in your deck, like a Chaos, like a Deck of Chaos deck, you could get some weird synergies in there. The 1/7 with Taunt, if you Deck of Chaos that, you pull out a 4/7 with Taunt from this. That's a weird thing you can do, but that's never happening. To say it lightly, that's never happening. This one's weird. I hate to say just this one's weird and that's it, but that's kind of all I got. I don't see it going into Zoo because it's a 2-mana 1/3 and that's pretty slow. And if it lives, you probably deserve to win the game anyway without this card. So now here's Imp Swarm, 2-mana Fell spell that says summon a 3/2 Imp, and it upgrades into Imp Swarm rank 2, which summons 2 3/2 Imps, and then upgrades again to summon 3. And then here's the Imp. I don't know what kind of deck would want to summon 2 3/2 Imps for 2 on turn 5. Like, this isn't getting cast on turn 10, I guarantee you, because if it is, you've lost. I just have to think that all these ranked spells are super disappointing, because getting to 10 mana, that was kind of the problem with the Omega cards too. Like, only the ones that were control focused ever saw play. Like, Omega Agent never saw play because it only affected the board, kind of like this card does, and it was terrible because of that. So yeah, this one's not seeing play. Like, when you want to play it on curve, it's a 3/2, and that's not good. That's never good. Here's Bloodshard Bristleback, a 3-mana 3/3 with lifesteal. It says Battlecry, if your deck contains 10 or fewer cards, deal 6 damage to a minion, and that is affected by the lifesteal. So the mill Warlock is actually a thing. Like if you have Altar of Fire and Backfire, stuff like that, like just a way too much draw in a deck and you have 10 or fewer cards, and then you just pop this, you're feeling pretty good. And if you don't, it's a 3/3 with lifesteal, which you're not too sad about playing on turn 3 if you have nothing else to do and you're at a pinch. Like, this could be played on curve if you have a bad hand, and it's fine. And the payoff is really huge. It's a fireball with lifesteal, which is really nice. But I think I'm overhyping this card, so I'm saying, whoa, it's really nice. It's really nice. Like, getting to 10 cards or fewer, like, how fast are you planning to do that? This is a really weird... this is something we haven't seen before, so it's a bit hard to evaluate. And also, it's 6 damage to a minion. I might as well mention that. Like, you're not hitting face with this, so... I mean, I have a big fat question mark on my head about the Mill Warlock archetype. This is really weird. Like, I have no clue. I guess I'll get back to this one as well. Here we have Cabal Outfitter, 3-mana 3/3 minion that reads Battlecry and Death Rattle. Give another random friendly minion +1/+1. 3/3 that gives +1/+1, because that's pretty much what this is. Like, the Death Rattle, it's kind of like, oh, it was that 4-mana 2/2 for Warlock that came out in Rise of Shadows that never saw any play, but this one's a bit more proactive. Actually, it's a lot more proactive. Like, the immediate buff is nice, and having the Death Rattle was also pretty nice. Is it enough to run in a zoo list? A lot of the cards are going to be faster than this. Like, is it enough? And I don't think so, from first glance. I mean, it's 5/5 in total stats, but one of those are delayed, and it just feels kind of lackluster and awkward. But like on curve, this is okay. Like on curve, you're happy, but otherwise, you'd rather be playing like something more impactful for 3. Yeah, I just think this card's a bit weird, a bit lackluster. Here's Talisman Roam. I hope I'm saying that right. A 3-mana 1/3 Warlock legendary that reads, whenever you cast a shadow spell that costs 1 or more, add a copy to your hand that costs 0. So you basically get to cast the spell twice, but with new targets. It's like that's like kind of like how copying spells works in Magic, like in Magic the Gathering, I mean. And copying spells in Magic is super good. So, and I can't imagine it not being good here. But it is only shadow spells, which is an important restriction. So stuff like Altar of Fire, you can't duplicate that. Yeah, I'm just gonna call this one really good for now. Like, in a control style deck, good card. Gets my seal of approval. The copy that goes in your hand always costs 0. It's not like Yasharaj, where the copy costs 0 that turn and then reverts back to its original cost. This copy always costs 0. So you could either play the copy right after the original, or not. You could keep it for future value, which is a really important flexibility that this card has. Here we have Soul Rend, a 4-mana shadow spell that reads, deal 5 damage to all minions, destroy a card in your deck for each killed. This is gonna, like, if the stupid Altar of Fire deck actually is a thing, this is a good inclusion, because 5 damage is usually gonna kill everything on the board at turn 4, so you're gonna be milling around like 2 to 6 cards, and that definitely contributes to getting to the 10 card threshold for the 3-mana 3/3. Yeah, but for other decks, milling that many cards is a bit detrimental. Like, that's why like playing Ticketus on turn 6 doesn't happen ever. So Soul Rend, pretty interesting card. Here's Nero Fireblade, a 5-mana 5/5 Warlock legendary that reads Battlecry. If your deck is empty, open a portal that fills your board with 3/2 imps each turn. So I guess I should show the portal. It's basically the same one that, oh, it fills your board each turn. Oh, so it's not just the stupid portal from Lakari's Sacrifice. Oh my. Oh, that's really significant. Well, if I'm right about this, it does take up a spot on the board, so you're getting 5 imps if you include Nero Fireblade in that. So you're getting 15, 10 in stats, as well as the 5/5 if your deck is empty. I mean, it's nothing close to a Nomi or a Mecha'thun, but I mean, it's every single turn. It's not an OTK, but if you get this off early, you're on track to win. But then the opponent could counterplay by invoking the sacred technique of player removal. In that situation, you're kind of screwed. But if you can't get player removed, then you're set. just make sure to not die. This is a really interesting deck archetype. And also I should mention that, like, the 3-mana 3/3 with lifesteal will heal a lot of health, like at least 9. I mean, at least 6 if you're pessimistic, at least 9 if you're optimistic. So you're gonna have a fair amount of health when you play this, so it's a do or die situation. Yeah, this is a really cool card. Alright. Here's Barrens Scavenger, a 6-mana 6/6 with Taunt, and it costs 1 less, or not 1 less, it costs 1 while your deck has 10 or fewer cards. Another Mill Warlock synergy. I'm eating my words right now as I say this, but this deck archetype is looking pretty promising. Yeah. I mean, you got stuff like Altar of Fire, you got stuff like Backfire. Warlock can draw really quickly right now. This is like Hooked Reaver levels good. Yeah, this Mill Warlock thing might actually have a reason to exist now. Alright, now we're on to Warrior with Warsong Envoy, a 1-mana 1/3 minion that reads Frenzy, gain +1 attack for each damaged character. In the neutral review, I referenced a Frenzy Warrior a lot, and this is an easy inclusion in that, and that's pretty much it. Like, you're not gonna have too many damaged characters otherwise, so like in a normal deck, it's basically gonna be a Warbot. A 1-mana 1/3 stat line, you can't really go wrong with that. Frenzy Warrior, I mean, this card lives and dies with it. Here we have Bulk Up, a 2-mana warrior spell that reads, give a random taunt minion in your hand +1/+1 and copy it. So this is like Simulacrum, but with hand buff. Well, it's unfortunate that this Taunt Warrior stuff had to come out after the rotation of Armageddillo and Frightened Flunky and all those good Taunt Warrior cards. Hopefully the new taunts can pair to those. And also stuff like Tomb Warden. I don't really know how many good taunts Warrior gets. So that all depends. Like, this card's success all depends on good taunt minions in Warrior. Like, the only one I can think of right now is Scrap Golem. And I believe that's in Ashes. Next is Conditioning, rank 1, which says give minions in your hand +1/+1, and upgrades when you have 5 mana to +2/+2, and then +3/+3. Yep. Hand buff Warrior. And it's probably going to be in Menagerie hand buff Warrior, because that's the hand buff we've seen in Dark Moon Fair. But last expansion, that did not work out at all. The Tempo Warrior archetypes did not work at all. Like, I think the closest we have is like some sort of pirate weapon thing with Nitro Boost Poison, but that never saw the light of day. And the Menagerie Warrior quickly overshadowed by ETC Warrior and Silas Warrior. Just the control of, or also and Bomb Warrior, so the control archetypes are really pummeling the tempo warrior archetypes. Rush warrior was never a thing, menagerie warrior was sadly never a thing, and I don't think this will make that scenario any better. Here we have Rokara, a 3-mana 2/3 legendary minion that reads Rush. After a friendly minion attacks and survives, give it +1/+1. Now, it on its own is pretty small and could possibly be hand buffed. This card seems so weak. It's a 3-mana 2/3 with Rush. Like, this needs to be buffed. And like, it's even worse than Darius Crowley. Like, Crowley, it killed something and gained +2/+2. This gains +1/+1, which is so much weaker. And like, you're never gonna have other minions out unless you're playing a Frenzy deck, possibly. In which case, this might see play in that Frenzy Warrior. Now that I think about it, especially with the Patron combo, like the Patron Warsong Commander combo that I discussed in the last video, this could actually be a really interesting factor in that. Why would you run that though? Why would you run Rokara? It's like, oh my goodness, it gives things +1/+1 after they do a really weird condition. It's just so weak right now. Next we have Outriders Axe, a 4-mana 3/3 weapon that reads, after your hero attacks and kills a minion, draw a card. Very solid weapon, especially with Nitro Boost Poison. If you're gonna put this in a control deck, this is competing with the Scalaman's Scythe weapon, and that weapon is better than this, I think. The only place I see it going is a tempo deck, and it has good draw for like a really nicely statted weapon. I mean, maybe it's what ties the Frenzy Warrior together with draw, because Battle Rage is out, and this would be pretty much the only draw in Warrior right now that I can think of. Like, Shield Block is also out. Like, you have Corsair Cache and Stage Dive. That's the only draw I can think of for Warrior right now. So, and Cutting Class, I forgot to mention that. Like, there's a lot of weapon draw now that I think about it. So, this might just find a home in some sort of Frenzy Warrior. And here's Rancor, a 4-mana warrior spell that reads, deal 2 damage to all minions, gain 2 armor for each destroyed. Easy auto include in control warriors, that's for sure. Like, I don't think you would want to destroy your own minions with this. 2 armor is really not worth that sacrifice, but if you can lower the enemy's board down to 2 health and then get like 10 armor with this card, you're living the dream. Like, that is a super good roll. Like, this card has the potential to be really impactful, but 2 damage isn't a lot for 4, and especially when it's harming your own minions, so it's not really ideal for a tempo deck like Frenzy Warrior. This is pretty much relegated to Control Warrior, and that's a bit concerning, because there are a lot of alternatives like Blade Storm, Minefield, and is Brawl in the core set? Brawl is in the core set, so it'd have to kind of compete with that too. So this is a hard time finding a spot, I think. And here we have Whirling Combatant, a 4-mana 2/6 minion that reads, Battlecry and Frenzy, deal 1 damage to all other minions. So you can kind of chain frenzies with this card. This is cool. This is a serious activator and board clear. Yeah, this is a really interesting way to activate a bunch of frenzies at once. Yeah, this is a cool card, and it might even see play in other decks because of its flexibility. Like, it's a 4-mana 2/6 that deals 1 to everything, which we just saw in that Earth Elemental back in Shaman, and then it can do it again on a frenzy, like trading that frenzy ability for taunt. They're very similar cards. But like, I don't think it would consider it over the other 4-mana spell, Rancor. I don't think it would consider it over that. Yeah, pretty much relegated to Frenzy Warrior and might see play in Control Warrior if they're really lacking board clears. Alright, here we have more Shan Elite, 5-mana 4/4 with Taunt and Battle Cry. If your hero attacked this turn, summon a copy of this. Attacked this turn. How hard of a condition is that? Not too hard, because Warrior has a lot of weapons. Not too much else to say about that. Like, just if the deck has weapons and your hero is attacking all the time, this is a great inclusion. And here we have Stonewall Anchorman, a 5-mana 4/5 pirate that reads Rush, Frenzy, draw a card. Very simple, and I think very nice, very good. It's just a good draw, and Warrior's a bit lacking in draw right now. Possibly the Frenzy Warrior could run the draw weapon, cutting class, and this, and then have a lot of good draw. Yeah, I really like what this Frenzy Warrior archetype is going. And last but certainly not least, we have Overlord Sourfang, a 7-mana 5/4 warrior legendary that reads Battlecry, resurrect 2 friendly Frenzy minions, deal 1 damage to all other minions. And it's kind of like that 4-mana 2/6 in the way it activates the frenzies, but it also does it to the ones that it summons right away. So if you're running Overlord Sourfang, I guess you don't want to run the cheaper frenzies. Like, you want to run stuff like the Anchorman and stuff like the neutral 5-mana 5/6. Like, and those picks are really proactive ones too. Like, honestly, this could probably see play in a deck that doesn't run all of the frenzy minions, like doesn't run a whole frenzy package, just runs like a few really good ones. And then this pops out and you're guaranteed to get a lot of good frenzy minions. So that kind of decreases the likelihood that the 1-mana 1/3 frenzy will be played, which is interesting. Like, maybe there'll be 2 versions of Frenzy Warrior, one with a Overlord Sourfang package, and one with a more enrage, aggro-heavy focus. And that is gonna wrap up this card review. Let me just give you another reminder to leave a comment on this video in order to keep the discussion going. That's what these videos are made to do, and it would make my day to see your ideas on these cards. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.